everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting Pontifex Zenestra, the Matriarch of the Great Wheel. Yes. Look at this. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely stunning miniature from Games Workshop that they sent me early to build up and paint for all of you. And that is exactly what we are doing today. And well, we are just going to jump in and start painting her. She is not as complicated as she initially looks. I should just say that first and foremost. So, you know, don't be intimidated by this one. Now, it's been primed in Wraith Bone, and the colour we're going to be using first is Agrax Earthshade. We're going to be applying this over the top of all of the wood. So we're just going to start here. You want to take this nice and steady, finishing off a section at a time so as not to kind of forget or miss bits. So I'm just going to do this little bit of the end like that, and then the next part of that handle. Going to bring it round both sides like that, flip it, and then come at it from this angle. Make sure we get that, and then we just continue on. Like so. Moving on to the next bit, which will be this little section. Coming down here, bring it around the back. Just like that. So with that Agrax Earthshade applied to all of the wood, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Aggaros Dunes. I'm going to apply this over any sort of trimmy bits. So this bit all the way along here, and the same on the other side. And we've got the bits on the roof as well. there like that. So with that done, what we're then going to do is take some thinned down Dawnstone, and we're going to use this to paint in the kind of large framey bits on the chair. I know we've already done Agrax Earthshade all over the top of these, but what we're looking for is areas like the armrests, like this. We've got this kind of central panel just in there. Like that. We've got the underside of the armrest as well. We've got like the frame. Just like this. It doesn't absolutely have to be perfectly covered either. So for example, up here, we've got this little bit here like that. Then you've got that really nice kind of bit of shading right on the corner there, so we're just going to leave that. And so with that Dawnstone applied to all of those areas, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Wyldwood. I'm going to apply this over some slightly trickier bits. So we've got these little wooden carvings in each of the pillars. Just like that one. And there's one just behind there, like that. But what we're also going to do is over the top of the kind of capping beams, we're going to apply this. On the main kind of frame. Like that bit there. We've got them on top of each of the pillars as well. Like that, and on the arms of the chair. So with that all done, it might seem a little bit early, but what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush all of this wood now with some pallid witch flesh. So with that all done, the wood is actually finished, so we can move on from this now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some Aeldari Emerald. I'm going to apply this over the top of the roof. So with that done, just whilst we're waiting for it to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown. We're going to apply this down here. On the floor. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our candles. With all that Blood Angels Red applied, we're then going to take some Poxwalker and we're going to use this on the outside of Zenestra's robe. I'm just going to start right down here. And with that done, we're then going to take some Gutrippa Flesh. I'm going to apply this to the inside of her robes. Of which there's very little. Like that. And what we'll also do here is we'll apply this over the top of the kind of soft cushioning around the necks of the acolytes. And with that done, whilst we're waiting for the greens to dry, we're going to take some Skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over the top of the skull, which is definitely not Pontifex Zenestra. I'd recommend you don't ask her about it. We're going to also apply this over the top of any parchment. So there's a little bit just here. Like that. And there's another one, or two in fact, on this side. Like so. And we're going to apply this over the top of the robes of the acolytes. So with that all done, the next colour we're going to use is some Black Legion. I'm going to be using this for loads and loads of different details. So firstly, I'm going to be using this over the top of the skeleton's robes. We're going to use this over the top of any leather details on our acolytes. So belts and pouches and things like that. I'm going to use this over Zenestra's hair. We're going to use this over the top of both their hourglasses. and any other details you want to be black. But as always, I'd recommend having the box art nearby. Just to keep a handle on things. So with all of that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood, and we're going to apply this over the top of the wood. But we've already done a lot of wood, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the handles of the weapons on the acolytes, and we're also going to do this over the staff that Pontifex Zenestra is carrying, although it won't remain that colour for very long. So with that now done, we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise and we're going to apply this over the top of the sash on both of Pontifex Zenestra, but don't ask her about it. So with that Terradon Turquoise applied, I've actually applied it over the canopy as well, just to bring that down a little bit further. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Cygor Brown and Contrast Medium. I'm going to use this for Pontifex Zenestra's face and arms. So with that done, we're then going to take some Guilliman Flesh and we're going to apply this to our other acolytes. This one's face has a little beard, so just watch out for that. So with that done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red. I'm going to use this over the top of Zenestra's staff, just in here. Like so. But what we're also going to do here, and this is a slight departure from the box art, is we're going to use this over the top of the two little shields because I want to have a reference to Hammerhall Aksha in here. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Apothecary White. I'm going to apply this over the top of this acolyte's beard. Just in there like that. We're going to apply this over the top of this twin-tailed comet on both of the Zenestra's chests. Like that. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the large collars. And with that done, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to apply this over the top of this acolyte's hair. that Agrax Earthshade applied, we're now going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. I'm going to apply this over the wing membranes on this lovely little gentleman. And with that done, we're then going to take some Flesh Tearers Red. I'm going to apply this over the top of the rest of the skin, including the spines of the wings. And with that Flesh Tearers Red applied, we're then going to take some Volupus Pink. I'm going to pop this over the tongue. And finally, for our little creature, we're going to take some Black Templar. I'm going to apply this over the top of the tip of the tail, like that. The tips of the wings, like that, and over the top of the horns on the head. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Creed Camo, and we're going to apply this over the top of those padded bits that we did with Gutrippa Flesh. So with that done, it is now time to work on all the metallics. So the first one of these is going to be some thinned down Iron Warriors. And well, I would recommend, once again, having the product photography in front of you, because there's a fair bit of fiddly bits of silver all over the model, including this frame and like the kind of lion's feet around the bottom, like this. Got all of the chains. That one there, and this one up here. Got all the little studs and things around the metal. You got all the armor. The weapons. There's a whole lot of silver. And so with all of that Iron Warriors applied all the way around, as you can see, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that done, we've got all of our base coats on Pontifex Zenestra. So now it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Targor Rageshade. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the silver. And we're also going to apply this over the top of all of the black. And with all that Targor Rageshade applied, we're then going to take some Guilliman Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the gold. And with that done, we're then going to take some Carroburg Crimson. I'm going to use this to shade our creature and our candles. So with our shades all applied, Pontifex Zenestra, the Matriarch of the Great Wheel, is now what I would call a War Hipster battle ready, and it's looking fantastic. However, we're not going to leave it there, of course not. We're going to take this to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding a layer and some highlights. Now the layer that we're going to add is some thinned down Ushabti Bone. I'm going to use this to relayer our Acolyte's clothes. I'm going to pick a place to start, and I'm going to do this right here. And so what we want to do is we want to just kind of build this up to be a nice soft green. While just kind of avoiding any of the recesses where our skeleton horde is really settled. Just like that sort of thing. So with that Ushabti Bone applied to both the Acolyte's robes, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Wraith Bone. I'm going to use this to highlight those robes. We're also now going to use this to highlight things like the bones, on our skeleton, like that, on the head. We've got the hands, of course, and the arms. Like that. But then similarly, as mentioned, we of course have the robe. So with all of that Wraith Bone applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Nurgling Green, and we're going to use this to do two areas. Firstly, I'm going to use this to highlight our green cushiony bits on the shoulders of the Acolytes. What we're also going to do with the Nurgling Green is going to use this to highlight the roof of the palanquin. So with that Nurgling Green all applied, we're then going to take some pink horror. I'm going to use this to highlight all the candles. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is move on to all of the white, and this is going to include Zenestra's robe as well, so that sort of minty green that we've got. The colour we're going to be using for this is some thinned down Corax White. What we're looking to do here is two things. Firstly, I'm going to use this to highlight that minty green robe. Just like that sort of thing. However, for the kind of collar, we're going to relayer this. Over the top. So with that all done, we're then going to take some white scar. I'm going to use this to highlight those white details, such as the collar and the twin-tailed comets on the necklace. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is going to take some thinned down Baharoth Blue. I'm going to use this to highlight both Zenestra's scarves. And with that Baharoth blue applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. We're going to use this to highlight all of the black details that we have at our disposal. So we're looking for areas such as Zenestra's hair, any of the boots and leather straps, scattered around. So with that Dawnstone all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. I'm going to use this to add a little spot highlight to all of that black on the sharpest point. So for example here on the black robe, I'm going to add some just there, here as well. There on the knee, a little bit here in the glass, so with all those black details now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Baneblade Brown. I'm going to use this to highlight Zenestra's skin. And so with that then done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the Acolyte's skin. And so with that Flayed One Flesh applied, we're then going to take some Black Legion, just a really tiny amount of this here. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the eyeballs. So we've got Zenestra's ones, we've got the Acolyte at the back, but we've also got a little creature that we're going to apply this over as well. So with that Black Legion all applied, we're then going to take a really tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. I'm going to apply this in the corners of each of the eyeballs. So with the faces all done, it's now time to work on some metallics. And the first of these is going to be the silver, and the colour we're going to be using to highlight all of the silver is some thinned down Ironbreaker. And we're just going to start from the bottom and make our way up. So with all that Ironbreaker applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our gold. So with that done, we're on to our last couple of details. And one of these is the little creature here, which we're going to use some thinned down Evil Sun Scarlet to highlight all of the red areas. As well as those two little shields on the front. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Frostheart. I'm going to apply this over the gems and the necklaces of Pontifex Zenestra. Like that. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the hourglass. And finally, to finish things off, we're going to take a tiny little bit of Cygor Brown. I'm going to use this to add some little text lines over the top of our parchment. So with that done, Pontifex Zenestra, the Matriarch of the Great Wheel, is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly work on the base. And this one is pretty easy as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Targor Rageshade first of all, and we're going to apply this over the top of this natural rock that we've got just here. And we've got a little wall just there, which we're not going to do this over the top of. We're going to get this over the top of this large one. And with that done, we're then going to take some Gryph-Charger Grey, and we're going to apply this over the top of this unnatural rock. So this is the stuff that's been masoned. And with that done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood, and we're going to apply this over the top of any kind of loose little pebbles and any soil. So we've got just a little bit of it just here. And in there. Like so. And with that done, we're then going to take some Ratling Grime. I'm going to apply this over the top of the trees. And with that now done, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the top of this skull. And with that now done, we're going to take some Iron Warriors. I'm going to apply this over the top of the helmet. Down there, like this. So with all of our base coats now applied, I'm going to apply my texture paint, which is going to be some Sterling Battle Mire to match with my soil and the rest of my Cities of Sigmar army. So with that Sterling Battle Mire now fully dry, we're going to tie the whole thing together by adding a dry brush of Tyrant Skull over the top of all the soil all the rock, all the wood, all of it. So with her base complete, Pontifex Zenestra is now finished, and is an absolutely fantastic model and a real linchpin for any Cities of Sigmar collection. I mean, seriously, the rules on this thing are absolutely insane, and I suspect you're all going to want one eventually, because it's just absolutely gross. I'm not even kidding with you. Get one now, because, you know, it's really, really, really very good. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.